So I became a licensed realtor at the age of 18. I'm 19 now. It's been about a year and a month, and this is my experience as a young realtor. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Victor Agbo, aka Vic's Chicken, aka Vic Realtor, aka your Columbus Realtor, and we're back with another video. If you can't tell already, a little bit of a different style because this one is not scripted. I'm about to do this one straight off the dome and kind of just talk about my experience from before I got into real estate, a little bit before I got into real estate, what it was like first being licensed and being an 18, 19-year-old teenage realtor here in Columbus, Ohio. So in order to make this video, I want to kind of step back and talk about when I first started. When I first got into real estate, I was 15 or 16. I think I was 15, about to turn 16. And I got introduced to real estate by TikTok. Like I said in my other video, I got introduced to it by King Kong, so shout out to him. He made a lot of wholesaling videos, and that came across my feed, and I was like, okay, what's this, right? And I started to realize that was another like side hustle is what they were calling it at the time. And it was a way to make $30, $40, $50,000 in one deal. And from there, that's when I started to come to the realization that I actually have an opportunity, a unique opportunity, in fact, to build wealth, right? I wanted to be a pilot just because I love planes, I love traveling, I love how they work and everything about them. But when I discovered real estate, that's when I started to realize that I have an opportunity at wealth, right? And I have an opportunity to not just change my life, and I could be someone in the future who is taking care of my family completely. So that just instantly put me on to real estate. And from there, when I first was 16, I started to try and wholesale. I went to some real estate meetups, and that's where I met my first mentor. It was like a real estate coaching seminar, something like that. And that's where I met my first mentor. From there, that's when I first started to get into wholesaling, and I got one deal in contract. It was like two houses on one lot, but that did not work out, and they tried to sue me and everything. Yeah, so it was like a dual lot, so there was two houses on one lot, and I had that in contract, and it didn't end up working out because the ARV was way too low or whatever, and I had to lowball them, and we ended up falling out of contract. Dude tried to sue me and all that stuff. So from then, I stayed away from wholesaling, and from 16 to 18, during that whole time, I was just studying real estate, and in between that time, I graduated at 17, and from there, I went to community college, and because it was free for me, my community college was free. And actually from that, I actually went and majored in real estate, not knowing that when I majored in real estate, they weren't necessarily talking about real estate investing, but being a realtor. So I went into class, I was halfway through my first semester, finished actually 2 out of the 4 core real estate classes that you have to take to get your license. Once I realized that, I was like, okay. And the whole time I had no plan on how to get income to actually invest in properties, which is what I wanted to do. And now when I was halfway through that semester and I had those 2 classes done, I was kind of like, okay, this is a great avenue to first up be in real estate and also generate great income so that I actually can end up investing in real estate like how I wanted to. So from there, I looked it up, and I went and took my other 2 classes and finished it all in one semester. I finished my 4 core real estate classes in one semester, and after that, I went and took my exam. So that left me with being 18 years old. I think it was February 6th is when I got licensed, 2023. 18 years old with a real estate license and a lot of drive. So starting off, my first year in real estate, if I were to sum it up, I would say it was good. It was good. Not because of the volume or how many deals I closed, which was a good amount, especially for me, 18-year-old, but because of how much I learned. Starting off, when I first got into real estate, what I first started doing was actually cold calling. So I would cold call a lot. I'm talking about 2, 3, 4 hours a day, 20, 30, 35. I never really hit 40 contacts a day, but I was cold calling. I started off really liking circle prospecting. From there, I think that went on for about like 6 months where I was just trying to figure out cold calling. And from then, after that, I bought Vulcan 7, which is definitely a good software if you enjoy cold calling and you want to cold call. That's one that is pretty good as well. And I do expireds, I do for sale by owners from there. And I also got some circle prospect info from that as well. And yeah, that was really just my first year until That was my first year until like March of 2024 was really just cold calling. Now, here's my thing. For me, as an 18-year-old realtor, as a young guy, I love real estate, right? I know a lot about real estate and I can have conversations, I can talk to people. I'm pretty good on the phone, but I really did not enjoy cold calling, right? And I know it's not like it doesn't necessarily need to be something you enjoy if you're really focused on the income. But for me, it was to a point where I didn't enjoy so much that I couldn't do it consistently. And that's when I realized that it was a problem, right? And I'm someone who likes to work something until it sticks, right? I'm really not the type of person to give up. So that's why I lasted for a whole year trying to cold call, just trying to make it work. And I gave it the time, and I didn't really see a result. I closed multiple deals last year, and out of those multiple deals, not one came from cold calling. And that was just for me. I had trouble following up. I had trouble just getting on the phone all the time because it was just so draining for me. And at the same time, I'm in school. And I think during this time, there's a period of time in that year that I had 3 jobs, including real estate. So it was just a lot on me. And, it's just something that it wasn't enjoyable to me. I think in December of 2023, it just got to a point where I didn't even want to look at my database. I didn't even want to touch my database because I just didn't want to. I just knew I had so many people to call. Like there was a point in time where I had 100 contacts past due of people I should have been following up with, just because it made me miserable to get on the phone and get yelled at or get cursed out or whatever. And that's a completely normal human thing. And that's what happened to me. And at the end of the day, I'm grateful for that. I'm very, very grateful for cold calling. I'm very, very grateful for the time I gave it, because now my skills on the phone are like elite still. Even if I don't necessarily like it, I like cold calling. If a client calls me outreach, or if I have to negotiate something on the phone, I'm sharp. I'm good at it. I know my scripts. They're all memorized, and that's the skill it gave me. So for those of you who are in a stage, especially if you're young like me and you're in real estate and you feel like what you're doing is not necessarily leading to results, there could be a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Just remember that, because for me, I gained a skill, and that skill was being on the phone and learning how to negotiate and guide conversation to where I'm now pretty decent at sales. But that wouldn't have come if I didn't cold call. And meanwhile, while I'm cold calling, I feel like I'm not doing anything. So just understand that even if you're not getting paid monetarily for the things you're working on and the things you're doing, what you're doing is you're learning skills. And those skills will then lead to income. And it could not be in this area, specific area like cold calling. That sales skill of being on the phone didn't really lead to income for me. But past that, when I started to get clients and they started calling me, that instantly translated into a financial reward. So stay consistent, keep putting in the work, and just make sure to reevaluate. Another tip, or another thing I'll say, in my first year, it was definitely a year of learning. When I chose my brokerage, I interviewed a couple brokerages, some big ones, some small ones. I'm with Emerge Real Estate now, as you guys know. And the reason I chose Emerge was because I knew that in the beginning, instead of worrying about the commission or the financial aspect of it, which is still pretty good here at Emerge, it's definitely really good actually. Instead of focusing on the financial aspect, I knew it'd make more sense to focus on the mentorship slash knowledge aspect, right? I wanted to go to a brokerage that would give me the most skills, teach me the most, and prepare me the most as an agent to be successful, right? And then from there, if I'm actually closing deals and I feel like I'm being held back financially from my brokerage, at that point, would I then move to another brokerage and get better pay or whatever. But that's what I focused on in the beginning. And I think if you're young, especially, and you have time, then that's definitely something you should focus on as well, because knowledge and having the skills you need can always translate into money. But if you go in a brokerage where you're focused about money and you're not actually closing any deals, even though you have a super high or 100% commission based program, it won't even matter. It literally won't even matter. So please, what am I trying to say? So put a focus on gaining the skills first. Put a focus on getting the skills you know you need first, and that will eventually lead to you generating income. And from there, that's when you can switch to a higher, commission brokerage. Yeah, so and that I've still been with Emerge. I love Emerge. I'm very, very grateful for their mentorship program. I've learned all the skills. Think about it. I'm doing all this much and I know this much, and it's only been a year, like barely been a year. Like I said, I got licensed February 6th, and it's April 29th today. So it's barely been a year, and I already know this much. Give it 5 years, where could I be? Give it 10 years, where could I be? Right? And I'm 19 right now, and that's because I chose a brokerage that focused heavily on knowledge and actually um, giving their agents the skills that they need to be successful. Right? So yeah, my first year has definitely been a year of learning. That's where I placed most of my effort towards. I was definitely, of course, trying to generate income, but I built relationships. I met people who are where I wanted to be, and I just learned from them. I gave it my all, and I just focused on absorbing as much knowledge as I could in this field, and that's what's gonna eventually lead to your success that you want, right? Um, as for being young, I know you guys want to know about this. I see being young, like 18, 19, teenager, whatever, even young 20s, I see being young as a realtor to 150% be an advantage if you know how to use it. That's because for me, I've always, in my time in real estate and with all the clients I've met, I've always leveraged the fact that even though I'm young, I'm 3 years into the game. I'm 19, I'm 3 years in the game because I started at 16. So I've been learning about real estate. I've been learning about homes, all the little features, all the aspects of real estate, investing, building wealth, making money through it since a very young age. And I leverage that. I leverage that fact that, yes, I am young, but I'm experienced, right? And I think the reason that's an advantage to other people when they see that is they see passion, right? Because it's not common for young people to be doing this. And when they see that I'm not just young, but that I also still have years of experience in this certain thing, they see the passion and they can see the knowledge through the way I speak and the way I present myself. And that gives people I think an even higher pace or even higher faith. Sorry. And I think that gives people an even higher faith in me than if I were to be like an older realtor who didn't take this as seriously and wasn't as passionate about it. So I think it's definitely an advantage if you're passionate about it, if you're absorbing knowledge, like I said. Another thing you need to leverage when talking to clients is you need to leverage your mentorship. Let your clients know that even though you're young, you're backed by hundreds of years of experience of a big group of people who know what they're doing. And that also gives my clients another sense of confidence as well. But at the end of the day, if you're young, learning how to present yourself, learning how to speak properly, just literally just amplifies your presence, amplifies your professionalism like 10 times more because people like to see young people who take their careers seriously and not just seriously, but are passionate about it. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just a different type of I don't know, they see the hustle, right? People see the hustle, and when they see the hustle, they know you're going to take care of them. So I think that's what kind of contributes to that. Overall, though, it's been a good experience. As you guys are seeing now, I'm taking a transition, and I have been taking a transition since March to social media. Cold calling, like I said, it wasn't working for me. It wasn't something I was able to make work. It works. Don't get it wrong. Cold calling works, but it didn't work for me, and I didn't want to necessarily make it work. So I switched, and I switched over to social media. So that's what I'm doing now, and I'm already seeing more success than I did with cold calling. And it's been like a month and a half in doing social media, and I'm already seeing way more success in that versus cold calling. So I'm very, very grateful that I made this change, and I'm gonna just continue to push. I have to remember to stay consistent and just put in the work. And I think that I've made a pretty good decision in terms of where I've taken my business. And then lastly, let me just give some tips to those who are young and in real estate. Tips that I would have given myself in the past. Number one, always, always, always track your stats. Track your stats and your lead generation, your volume, whatever you're doing, track your stats so that you know where you're slacking and you know when you're slacking. Because sometimes you actually are slacking and you just don't know it because you don't actually understand the results you're producing. So track your stats, and tracking your stats is actually I can make a whole nother video on this, but tracking your stats is the thing that allows you to see where there are holes in your business, where there are holes in your systems. And from tracking, you can see those holes, and not just see those holes, but also understand where you need to adjust each and everything to where you can have a smooth system that's producing results, right? But if you don't track your stats, you don't know what's leading, like you don't know what's leading to results. You literally don't know what actions are leading to results. You don't know how many results you're getting per action. You don't understand the amount of time you should allocate to get to certain goals. It just, tracking your stats just puts all those things in perspective and allows you to actually generate systems that work for yourself and your business. Another thing, if you're young, be professional. Be professional. We already are in a way, um, we already are in a way kind of at a disadvantage if you don't be professional. I feel like if you are professional as a young person, you are at an advantage just because, like I said, people see the hustle, they see the passion, and they see the potential in somebody who's youthful. But if you're not professional and you're young, I mean, these are grown people, right? These are adults who have kids, who have futures, who have bills they need to pay. So things, especially if they're changing houses, like moving is a big deal for a lot of people. So they want somebody who they can trust. So especially if you're young, be professional, dress right, talk right, learn how to present yourself, learn how to give presentations, take things seriously because this is a serious matter for most people. Last but not least, the biggest piece of advice that I can give to anyone who is a realtor young, um, honestly, focus on learning. Focus on learning. Learning will be your best friend. It will be the thing that you use to scale your business, right? I think you should go into it having a focus on learning because we're young, right? And having that time and that experience and that knowledge over an extended period of time is what will lead to the most success. Don't rush it. Of course, hustle, grind, but have a huge emphasis on learning your skill, on mastering your skill. Read books. I'm reading, I've read, what was that? Scale by David Green. Of course, I'm also reading the Millionaire Listing Agent by Gary Keller. So educate yourself, continuously educate yourself, place a huge emphasis on education, right? Because there's a time for learning and there's a time for earning. Right now, at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, if you're young and you're in real estate and you're just getting started, that is your time for learning. You need to put a huge emphasis on learning and gaining the skills. And from there, that's when you can start to focus on earning. But learning is the biggest thing you can do right now. Get a mentor. No matter what you do, please get a mentor. Find somebody who you can provide value to, who is successful in what you want to be successful in, and learn from them. Please do that. That will exponentially shorten your learning curve and allow you to scale much, much, much faster, guys. But yeah, that's my experience as a young realtor. This is my first time doing an unscripted video, so I hope that my thoughts were put together well enough for you guys to understand. And I hope this taught you something. I hope this gave you insight into what it's like to be a young realtor. And if you are interested in being a young realtor and you don't have a brokerage and you're here in Columbus, Ohio, reach out to me. Or honestly, anywhere in Ohio, reach out to me and I can connect you here with Emerge. I can show you what we offer as well. Because it really is a great brokerage. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here, but I'm still here for a reason, right? But yeah, shout out to all my young realtors out there. Continue to work, continue to grind, continue to hustle, and you will see results. Like I said, track your stats, understand what you're doing, get expertise and help from those who are successful and where you want to be. And from there, things will start to fall in place. But put that emphasis on learning and really gaining the skills you need to be successful. But I hope this video helped, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.